Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Hot Topics, the show, the podcast where we create, inspire, and
Transform. What else?
there you go. This is Gloria Goldberg, the founder of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD in a holistic way, a natural way to always make you feel better. And next to me, like always, my beautiful co host, Kia Baker.
Hi, it's your girl Kia, and I am the creator and host of the Female Veterans Podcast, Women Warrior Stories, and success coach at London Road Academy. And I have some big news for
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
Gloria.
I can't wait to hear it.
Do you remember my show, Women Warrior Stories?
Yes.
I am going to be moving it to a new streaming service. So,
Really?
yeah, my good friend Kelly from Eris, she has an organization that empowers women. And you can check it out at erissisters.com. And she works with women from all over the world. They have just launched their YouTube channel. So go and subscribe to it, everybody. Do me a favor and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And the streaming service is coming, and my show, Women Warrior Stories, is going to jump over to this new streaming service. So by supporting them, you're supporting me, and I will appreciate you for it forever. So
That's
that's my big news.
awesome.
That's right.
And when you gonna start with that? Like right away?
Not right away. No, 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 no. You know, I have like 4 projects going at a time. And so this one is going to be put on the back burner while it's being revamped.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a new editor. I'm going to have new music for the show. It's going to have a little bit more professional look and feel. It's going to be really exciting. And then eventually, once all this pandemic shit is over, I'll be able to do more with it and even perhaps meet the guests live and in person, travel to the guests. However, I will be working on some other upcoming projects with Eris's streaming network as well. So I'm super excited. It's a huge
That's
opportunity.
awesome.
And they are going to work with me on the documentaries that I am currently working on, which are my new projects, if you didn't know.
That is awesome. Awesome. So a lot of things, good things coming pretty soon.
That's right. Hi, Angeline.
Hey,
Big things,
Angeline. How are you, my
always.
dear? We miss you.
We'll see you on Tuesday. we're
Yeah.
gonna be reading what chapter are we on? 4, 5, and 6 of the
Yes.
book The Verbally Abusive Relationship by Patricia Evans. You can catch us on our Instagram at Hot Topics the podcast on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be having sort of a book discussion, talking about what we learned from this book and sharing it with you if you have been in a verbally abusive relationship, or you don't know if you have been, or you don't ever want to be in one. This is a great conversation to come and join and be a part of. And it's live. You can put your comments and hang out with us and everything like that too.
And
So,
now that you mentioned like
yeah.
this book is good for people that don't have no partnership with anybody, because the conversation that sometimes we give to us is like a poison, and this, and also you're verbal abuser yourself, so this book will help you to see where you doing that with yourself, because we sometimes we don't
Mm.
notice that, but yes, we do verbal abuse ourselves a lot.
You know what I think? I think most people do.
Yes.
I think more people verbally abuse themselves than not. Because one of the strategies that I work with hi George, with
Hey,
my female
George.
veterans in the workshops that I do and with my coaching clients is I tell them to talk to themselves like you would talk to a friend, and to be
Yes.
gentle with yourself, because a lot of times we say the worst things to ourselves, and the first thing you have to do is isolate whether that's your own voice telling you that. Is that coming from you, or was that something that was told to you as maybe a
Yes.
child or a teenager, from a parent, teacher, a trusted adult, a non-trusted adult, or a bully? right? There's a lot of
Yes.
people who can tell you things that are not true about you, and you take it in because you're in a vulnerable place. So are those the voices you're hearing? Or is it your own just genuine self-loathing, hateful self-talk telling you these things? And then once you know
Yes.
which it is, then you know how to combat it, because awareness is the first step. And then from there, you start giving yourself loving counter comments, right? Telling yourself
Yes.
nice things. And the more positive words that you give to yourself, the more self assured you become. So if you are telling yourself wonderful things and you feel like, what is she talking about? I didn't tell myself wonderful things. That seems crazy. Then pretend, and this is a real strategy, pretend you are talking to a friend or a loved one or a family member that you would never talk to the way you talk to
Exactly.
yourself. So you made an
Exactly.
excellent point there, Gloria.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
excited for that.
I did that before in my life. Like, and maybe sometimes we don't realize, but sometimes when we say, "Oh, I'm so stupid," "Oh, what an idiot
Mm-hmm.
I am," or "Oh my God, like what the heck I was thinking," like you sabotage yourself and you just
Mm-hmm.
sometimes denigrate yourself for stupid things. And when I've been reading this book, I notice it that, oh my God, I do this, I do this, I think about this, yes, I say this about me. And then it's like a revise of yourself. And when people wants to grow and when people wants to get aware, that's the way to go, like reading books, checking themselves every day in the morning, how you wake up, how you feel, what is the mood that you have. And at the end of the day also check again, how was your day, what you can do better, what exactly do you say to yourself. And sometimes it's very good to write it down, and then 30 days after that you've been writing down your journey, go and back and check what exactly you was writing, and then you start knowing yourself and getting better and better and better.
Mm-hmm. Those are really good points, Gloria. I absolutely agree. You know what I used to say? I used to say two things, and I caught myself from saying these two things. Um, so I used to say to myself all this time, way to go, dumbass. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? That is so mean. Like, cut
Yes.
yourself some slack. You made a mistake. Like, chill out. Or used to say, fuck my life. And then I'm like, words are powerful, right?
Yes,
You don't
very,
want to
very.
be saying that, like putting that on your life.
No, 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 no. And also people don't know that you can manifest. And then I
Mm-hmm.
realize sometimes when you wish something, like you manifest and you wish it, that's what they said. Be careful what you wish because it will come.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
right. Or I've heard this too, words are spells,
yeah.
right? So you're cursing your own life. And I
Yeah.
was like, as soon as I realized that, I'm like, I have to stop this stuff. Like, it's
Yeah.
so negative. Why am I so negative? And I always thought I was a positive person, right? But I was
Yes.
still doing these kind of things. So,
Hi.
hi, Gertie.
This is
Hi,
love.
Gertie, Mrs.
Kia,
Love.
you should check your phone because Maria got disconnected, our guest.
Oh no. Let me see what happened. That makes me so sad. Okay. Oh no. Well, let's figure out what's going on with Maria. And then, nope, I don't have a message from her. So maybe hopefully she'll click back in. I'll tell her
Do you already
really
ask
quick.
her?
I'm asking her now. She said that she was having problems with her Wi Fi earlier.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hopefully, fingers crossed, she will come back. But we never have a shortage of topics. So
Oh,
we are all good no matter what. In fact, I love
yes.
what we're talking about right now because, it's really important. The first step, which I teach all of my students, to succeed at any goal is to be assured in yourself, to be confident that you can achieve the goal. And if you
Mm-hmm.
are constantly denigrating yourself, downing yourself, bullying your own self, you're not going to achieve it, and not in a positive way. I mean, sometimes you can bully yourself into action, but it's not the same, right? When you can love yourself into action and support yourself and nurture yourself into achieving your goals, it's better. It's more healing. It's more positive. It's a much better victory in the end.
Totally, I write every day, and sometimes I go what I write in 2018, 2019, and surprise me because when you journey, in my case, she's here, so so we're
Okay.
gonna wrap it up and bring her in.
Yes.
Uh, Sometimes I went back and read because I like to write what I want, what I wish, or what I want in my life in the future, but not what I want, what is convenience for me in the future. And I would go back and read that, and it's everything that I write before is happening today. So that's why I find out, like, oh my God. That's why also in the book that I'm reading, The Power of Now, they said that it's better for you to be an observer, and also to be very quiet, and also not to talk too much about a lot of stuff, and be conscious of what you're talking, because everything you said, it comes through. So and I know that because I've been reading my journey about 3 years ago, and things are happening.
Yeah, I'm a huge journal girl. I journal everything. I
Yes.
got journals upon journals. You like if I died in my garage, they could like read my whole life story in journals from like my senior year of high school, which is where I think I started journaling for the first time. So
Wow.
shout out to Milton Hershey School and I think she was my junior year English teacher, Sarah Staples Farmer, and or was senior year, one of those. I think it was junior year and senior, and she was amazing. Actually, we used to do step aerobics together. She got me into the love of group fitness classes. So she was awesome. But I've always been journaling, and I love it. It's a way to express your thoughts in a private way without any, like, exactly the way you want them. And like you said, when you look back, you can reflect.
Yes. And that was like 2 years ago when you graduate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 2 years ago. Yeah,
Okay, let's bring our
plus
guest before she
plus
gets
28.
disconnected.
Right. I'm just kidding. Okay, yes, let's bring her so that we can have her as long as we can, because we know her connection's a little shaky today. So I want to introduce my guest. Now, she is actually my twin. Okay, so get ready because my twin is here. And she is so beautiful and charming and amazing and like positive and effervescent and just exactly like me, but probably a little better. And
Yes.
what makes it, did you say yes? And then what makes it even more special, is that, well, actually, let's just bring her in so you can meet her.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna bring her in. We're gonna talk to her, but I need to get like a bottle of water. I'm so thirsty, so I'm gonna maybe
Oh,
step
that's
out a little bit.
okay. Do what you gotta do, honey. We're live. We just roll with it.
Hi.
Hey! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm not really a twin, Gertie. She's my birthday twin. We have the same
Yeah, just
birthday.
birthday. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that makes us twins, sort of. But what
Sort of.
makes
Yeah.
this so special for me is, okay, so my very first coaching course at London Rail Academy, I have two of my first students with me here right now. I feel like
I
a
am
proud
so
mama.
excited. I know, right?
Do we look alike, Angela? We were born on the same day.
Same day, yes.
Oh, I wanna be like. What is the name of the three babies? Triplets.
Triplets.
I
Triplets?
wanna be. I don't. I wanna be
Yeah.
Friday, so I wanna be the
Yeah, there you go.
triplets.
That's it.
Then, and so it is. And now we're triplets.
That is it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, you ladies. I'm so excited. This is like a reunion. I mean, we ended the course right as before COVID happened. And, you know how you just are praying for everyone and just like hoping everybody's okay. And then things happen. And, you know, I'm just so grateful to see you guys and to see you doing so well. And I love you guys. God, I didn't realize how much I missed you.
I
We miss you too
know.
a
I miss you
lot.
too. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad, so happy you're here. So we have to catch up, of course, and we
Right,
have
right,
to
right, right.
find out everything that's been going on because, you know, we talked a few times over the year, but we didn't get a chance to like really, really get into everything that's been going
Right.
on with you. And I know that it's been a lot. So a little backstory is Maria is the creator and host of Millennial Mom podcast, right? And I know that you have sort of put that on hold for right now because you have a lot of different things going on, but we're going to get into it, which I thought was really, really incredible because it was a show that you were creating for like millennials, but dealing with depression and anxiety. And it was such a beautiful thing to do. And I really admired it. So if I didn't tell you that before, I'm telling you that now. And I
Oh,
know that you're always moving and shaking and doing a million things. So tell me, what has been up
all
since you
right. Okay.
graduated?
All right. Awesome. 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 So, at the time that I was doing the podcast or putting together the podcast, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And, you know, I knew this was going to be a part of, you know, online marketing is a big thing right now, you know, and it's like, okay, I want to get into this online space. I want to be my own boss. I'm going in that direction. I had been out to Denver, Colorado for a conference. And then I took the podcasting class and then COVID happened. And, by the way, I lost a bunch of interviews that I put on my Chromebook and
Oh,
and I didn't download them into the cloud. And I didn't realize that with the Chromebook, if you like mess up your password or something, like it just erases everything. You can't recover it. So that's okay because I'm going to go back. That's all right. That's all right. I'm going to go back. I'm going to interview people. But it's interesting because when I was working for a doctor's office and I was also working in a restaurant at the same time, right when COVID happened, and there was the lockdown, and when it was time to go back to work, the restaurant was really struggling. And I've worked many years in a restaurant. And like, it's interesting because like, I never wanted to be in the restaurant business as long as I was. And now like, I could spin the narrative that like God kept me until COVID happened because literally I could do almost everything in the restaurant business. So we were just trying to keep the lights on. So I was asked to like, when everything opened up, can you work full time? And so I ended up working part-time at the doctor's, full-time at the restaurant. And it was just getting the view of COVID from that vantage point of people coming in and like all walks of life, people still wanting to travel, still people, old folks that just didn't want to be home alone by themselves, like everything, like it's just to see the human spirit and to see like how people have reacted has given me a depth of like compassion for people that I never would have had if I did not work during the pandemic. And then I think I said to you, like, either you could be bitter or you could be better for the,
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I chose to be better because, I mean, I could have been angry when I'm like, so there's, a couple that's sitting in front of me, like we're right here, they take off their mask, when they're eating and they're like, oh yeah, we just came up from Florida, which was at the time, a hot spot, either I could be mad or I could just be like, okay, like what am I going to do? Am I going to be panicked? Am I going to be like afraid the whole time? I was like, no, I'm just going to do the best I can and just be professional. And then also too, we both have a military background, right? So you just kick into it and you just do what you got to do. And it was really a blessing because I didn't realize how strong I had to be. And then also too, I was by myself for most of the pandemic and I'm actually married. So that was a whole nother, I like Christmas was weird. That's what I'm just going to tell you that Christmas was weird. And I had like, like how like on your bed, you have like a spot where you kind of like, it starts to concave or like if you have a bed long, mattress long, I have like a COVID couch where like I've sat like on my couch during the pandemic. And that was just kind of like where I would just sit and like write or read or whatever. It's just like, and I call it the COVID couch. So it's been amazing. And I actually am getting ready to move. Who's that? Rabia? Who
Very
has
hot lips, baby. Oh, all of us.
Oh my God. Can I just tell you, when I came, knew I was going to be on your show. I was like, they always have the lips. You guys always have the lips. I was like, well, I don't really real makeup, but I went to MAC and I got like this little nude thing. So I don't know if you can see it. It's
girl,
a little something.
I can see it. It's
a little
cute.
something. A little something. You guys got it going on. It's going to take me a while to get to where you're at.
Oh, honey.
So, but yeah, so it was crazy, but you know what? God got me through it and I'm just grateful, and I'm getting ready to move. I'm going to be actually working on my podcast, working on the book, getting ready to do all that stuff. And, when COVID happened, I was like, can we just leave now, honey? Cause I was just over it. I was over it before it even began. And, he's like, no, it's not time. And I'm like, you know how you get all mad because you want, I'm a strong Black woman. I want what I want when I want it. And so, but I waited on God and I just said, okay, you know what, we'll see. And I'm glad he did because the restaurant's doing well and I get to exit and do my thing now. So it's pretty awesome.
It's really generous of you. And wow, he's really hung up on the lips and the kissing thing.
Yeah, right?
And the baby thing. I feel like a little bit hashtag me too right now. Just saying. Thanks. We're flattered. Anyway,
yes, absolutely.
So I have questions, of course, but we forgot to do our disclaimers.
Okay. Yes.
So if you are not 18 years old, you should click off. Okay. Also, if you're a pervert, you should click off too. And
yes.
I mean, if you're like an aggressive one, otherwise we don't mind a little bit. So also, we don't really, we support the right of all of our guests' opinions for them to have them and share them on our platform, but we don't necessarily agree with all of them. I just like to get that out there. But we definitely respect the right for all of our guests' opinions. And yeah. And look, Gloria. Anyway, so honey, tell us where you are and what time it is.
I am in Poughkeepsie, New York, and it's almost 9:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Nice. As you know, I'm on the West Coast, and it is 6:25 p.m. In the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful this time of year. And Gloria, you are muted, babe.
And here we are in Florida, 9:25 p.m. Eastern Time as well.
Nice. So my first question for you, Maria, is you said that when the pandemic started, you and your husband were not together. What? Why?
Yeah, girl. Let me tell you. Oh, yeah. The happily ever after, right? Isn't always happily ever after.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. It's so... All right, let me just back up. I met my husband in 2016. He was doing gas and pipeline work. I was single. My youngest son was, I think, in his sophomore year of college because he went to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I got some smart kids. I just want to say they get it from the mama. And so we ended up, he said, we're going to travel all together, travel all over the world, gas and pipeline work. And then that didn't exactly happen. And so he got a job up in Poughkeepsie, New York, which is where I was originally from. We got married in December 2017. And he worked for a few months. And then he's like, okay, well, I have to go somewhere else. Well, by this time, we had my stepson with me. And he was enrolled in school. So I really couldn't take him, and like my stepson. And now, mind you, Rhinebeck. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Small
I love
world.
Rhinebeck. Yes, it is. The Hudson Valley is so beautiful. And so I have my stepson with me. So I'm like, I can't take him out of school. And mind you, my husband and I are 11 years apart. So I'm going to be 53 and he's 42. He just turned 42. So he had younger children from a previous marriage. So little backstory there, right? So this is not my first rodeo. So I know how to raise kids, you know? And so he's traveling and I'm with the child. I'm like, this is not how we planned it. He said, well, I can't get off the road. And I'm like, well, we have your son. And things just started to like brew. It was just like not a good scene. And I said, well, you know what? You can't seem to figure this out. So I'm going to stay here and you figure it out. And that's what happened.
I hope he's figuring that out.
He's here right now moving he's right there. He figured it out, girl.
He figured out. You better figure it out
right now. Okay, because I was a little bit stressed out when I was listening to that story because I didn't know which way it was gonna go, and I was like, "Oh shit, what did I ask her?"
No, girl, it's all good. You know how we roll. We know how we roll. It's gonna be fine no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, I have my cry, my tears, and then we adjust our crown and we keep it moving.
Absolutely. So I'm glad to know he's there now. But let me back it up which means he was busy on the road trying to figure his life out. You were figuring your life out with his kid. You're both kid now.
Oh, wait. Let me hold on a second. I did after the school year in June of that year. I was like, nah, I can't. No, I can't do it. This is not what I signed up for. And I was heartbroken. Don't get me wrong. I was heartbroken.
That's a tough decision,
I was, it was rough, but you know what? He ended up with, right now he's with his mother, like not the baby's mother, but with my husband's mother right now. So, and then his ex-wife, is addicted to drugs. So there's a little, so there's some issues right there too. So it's like, but he's doing better. He's doing fine. But I was heartbroken because I thought, and this is another thing when you step into a situation where there's other kids, like I thought it was like my children, right? Like I've done this before. So this is going to be like my children raising my kids. And you don't realize that they're coming from another background with a lot of things. And he had been exposed to a lot of things and it was rough. So, and I'm at a point in my life where I can't pretend to be something that I'm not.
Oh my God, Maria, let me just tell you how much I understand that. And Gloria will probably remember this. So when my husband and we were conscious uncoupling and we were living in the same house. So for 2 years during our divorce, we lived in the same house as we were splitting up for the sake of our kids, right? And it was my bright idea. It's a concept called conscious uncoupling, and what the end goal is for you to be friendly and like family when you are done with this whole process. But it is a bloody mess as you're going through it most of the time. But it did work. By the way, it did work. We are good friends right now.
Okay. All
and
right.
we co-parent like super good. But last summer, one of my son's best friends needed a place to stay. So I took him in. Yeah, I took in this kid and I thought I can raise kids. 2 teenagers. Okay, that's cool. I'm laid back. I can handle this. While at the very end of my divorce, as my ex-husband was finding his place and packing and moving out and everything, right? So that's kind of what was going on. And at the end of the summer, I was at the point where, fortunately, he decided to go home. And he lives on a reservation, on Native American reservation.
Oh, yes.
So he is up at the reservation now, or I don't think they live there, but they live somewhere by there. And and so he lived with me, and I just absolutely loved him. Like I still love him like my own kid. But by the end of the summer, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I am in over my head. Like I don't think I can manage 2 kids, because what happened was his girlfriend broke up with him, and it was like his first love, right? And it was like a downward spiral, girl, of behavior that I was ill-equipped to manage. And I love the kid. But I was like thinking, oh my God, am I going to have to send him home with his mother? Because I'm working so much. and I have my own 2 kids, and I've, at the time I was still having little bits of drama with my kid's dad, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I don't know if I can manage. And then like one day he went to a family reunion, and his cousins convinced him to stay. And I was just like, oh my God, thank God I don't have to make that
You're off
difficult
the
decision.
hook. Yes.
But I
Yeah.
was starting to feel a little underwater. So
I had to do it. I had to do it. And I felt so bad. I felt like the bad. And then I was thinking like, I mean, like, how would I feel if like somebody said like, well, listen, you get married to someone and they're like, I can't take care of your kid. You know what I mean? Like, I just,
that's
like,
rough.
Yeah. And so, but we've talked through it, and he did say, like, he finally was able to say, like, I did have some resentment. I'm like, yeah, of course you did. How could you not? Like, how could you not? And that's that honest conversation that you got to be able to have with each other, right? But then there's a lot of anger that gets, and I heard you talking about that book. What is that book that you guys are reading?
It's
about
called
verbal.
The Verbally Abusive Relationship by Patricia Evans. Yeah.
Ooh, yes. So
So if you want to join in, we'll be talking about it again on Tuesday on our at Hot Topics the podcast on Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll follow that. Yeah, definitely. Because things got ugly, and he's like the first man that ever, like, my ex-husband didn't yell at me. Like, he wasn't a yeller. He wasn't screaming. He's very quiet, This one yells back at me, and I'm like, ooh, this is what it sounds like. Because I have a mouthpiece on, like, as my husband said, he's like, you got a mouthpiece on you, girl.
Yeah, you should tune in.
So I had
Gloria
to realize.
can wait, are you this
right?
Yeah,
you know,
right? Gloria can chime in on that, huh, Gloria? Being a mouthpiece.
Oh yeah. Again, I got to use it for a force for good.
Yeah, my mouth doesn't have a filter, and between my head and my mouth, and my mind and my mouth, and then sometimes it's like, I have to, go back a little bit and think about what I said. But you know what? I like to always speak the truth, and sometimes the truth doesn't come the way people want to hear it. Very simple like that.
Facts.
And I know vice versa too. Sometimes we don't like to hear the truth. But in my case, I'm capable to receive my truth. But when I say the truth, I probably say very rough or very like straightforward, and I don't have the filter. So I have a lot of problems in my life because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Maybe I don't know how to express the truth.
Yeah. I feel you on that one. I do. Like, and then if it's an emotional situation, like a highly charged situation, it's no good because what comes out my mouth sometimes is like, I want it to be loving, but it doesn't. It's like it doesn't translate well. No. It gets lost in translation. No excuses though. See, I know better.
I'm actually the opposite of that. My problem is I tend to sugarcoat things too much for people. So I have had to learn how to strengthen my delivery or just give it to them straight, right? But I definitely still have my techniques and strategies, one of which being what I lovingly call the shit sandwich. And what that is I wedge the truth
sandwich
in the middle between loving thoughts and comments. And that's my strategy for everything. Okay.
So how you do that? You need to write a book to do the shit sandwich.
I'm gonna give you an example. Well, this is not my phrase. This is common, right? So you probably could Google it. But I'm gonna give you an example. So to help. So Gloria, I love how open you are and how honest you are. But sometimes when you say things, they come out really harsh. But what I love most, even more than that, and even more than anything, is the fact that you care enough to say the truth.
That's a good one.
Right? I was like,
wow, Kia, you should train us, Maria and me.
Yeah, seriously.
Academy of the shit sandwich.
The gourmet.
The
You know what I mean? We could
gourmet.
like the gourmet. That's it.
Right?
Absolutely.
How you want the bread?
Oh
Integral.
yeah. What kind of bread do you want?
You know,
Brioche.
Yes.
scrambled eggs.
We even
with
have gluten
ham and
free.
cheese, ham and shit.
Yes.
This is why you can't be
Pick your topping.
below 18. Show is not for children. Okay, is all I'm
And
saying.
you want bacon? Okay, bacon.
Bacon makes it better.
Bacon makes
maybe.
everything better. And
Oh
there
my
you go.
God, this is so much fun.
I promise you it would be fun.
Yes,
Don't worry,
absolutely.
we're just gonna hang out.
Oh my
and we're gonna have a chat.
gosh.
I like
Good
that.
stuff.
I never hear that, Kia, about this shit sandwich. I love it.
Oh my
I should do
gosh.
an
And then the
academy.
example. Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good
there's.
stuff.
Oh, I feel personally attacked right now, Tendai. Okay, I feel attacked. Okay, but you know what they say. Just like when you pick your partner, the person you're going to be around the most, like your life mate, you're gonna pick up their characteristics.
I know.
So Gloria is my partner in crime,
Uh-huh.
and of course I'm gonna pick up some of her characteristics, but that is why we work together. See,
Yes.
she makes me a little bit more unfiltered, and I add some sweetness to her,
Yeah.
and so we meet in the middle. That means we're
That's
balanced.
awesome. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. You guys are awesome.
So when you fight, I'm going to give you an example if I learn. So when you're mad like that, you want to do a sandwich, you're going to say, "You're such a nice little asshole."
Not quite there. Not quite there. We're gonna take.
That was not hard. That was sweet.
But okay, number one, it's a start. Number two,
It is, right?
you need to end it with something nice too. You left it on asshole. So you need to end it with something nice as well. But we could tweak that one a little bit. I think we can get it with
You
practice.
see? Close.
Oh my God. It's hot in here. Where's my fan, Gloria?
Because yes, we are on Hot Topics.
Right? Yeah, seriously.
Where's my fan? I know my fan is around her somewhere. Oh my God.
Oh, look, she got her fan.
I have mine.
Oh my God. I'm telling you what, I just don't understand what is going on around here.
It's almost like you passed the fan along. Are you sure you're not in the same room?
Oh, see, Johnny Durango, parcero. That's the fan number one of the Hot Topic show.
Number one. We were just talking about you. Your ears must have been burning, boy. Burning. That's my ex. So see, we're such good friends. He's one of my number one fans of my show.
Yeah.
See,
That's
Conscious
awesome.
Uncoupling is a book by Catherine
That's it.
Woodward. If you're thinking about leaving your partner and you want to make sure that you guys part well, especially if you've been together for like years and years and years, it's worth it. But the book is by, and there's a TED Talk as well by Catherine Woodward, I believe her name is. And her book is called, and her talk is called Conscious Uncoupling. If you like Mind Valley on YouTube, I think they have something by her on there too. You can check it out. But it really works. And I think we're all the happier for it. And he knows how much I love him to this day.
I would say when you want to leave your partner, you being
That's
like,
awesome.
Maybe you been, fighting for many, many years. At the end, when you ask for divorce or separation, what else you gonna fight more? Like for what? Okay, that's the word, divorce, separation, separate. I don't wanna have this anymore. And people love to go in wars to the end and destroy to each other. When people don't realize, when you try to destroy other person, that wish is gonna come to you and destroy you 3 times more.
And also, too, it affects the kids.
Oh,
big time. And you know what else too is one of the things I think I remember seeing that she spoke about in her TED Talk was that the way you end your relationship affects your new one. So the next relationship that you get into, you're dragging that energy, that negativity negativity, that baggage, that all of that turmoil into your next relationship. So if you want to have the best possible opportunity to have something in the future that's healthy and secure and non-toxic,
I
then
should have
this is
had this book a
you know.
long time ago. Because I definitely, we both carried it in. My husband and I both carried it in. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Is it too late? Can I do? No, I don't want to do it over.
No,
Well, it's
never
not.
too late.
You know what? It's not impossible to never. I don't think anyone, like most people, aren't fully healed when they go into their next situation. So it's really possible to heal together and help each other heal. It can be like a healing love if you are willing to do the work. Each of you have to do your own work, and then you have to do work together. This is what I've learned.
Right.
Along.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It was so funny because we had a conversation,
Oh, no.
and he's like,
You're breaking up,
we
honey.
Like the finances.
Well, you know how it goes when you're live. Like we just roll with it.
Maria, we cannot hear
Thing
you.
hasn't.
I am going to message her and let her know that she's like frozen. She's probably going to drop off in a second, or maybe she'll come back. I don't know. But hopefully she'll come back in.
And you're always frozen at like an ugly face too. When you froze, it's like
I know, right? Gotta love the internet.
But yeah, so just talking about so now we talked about finances, and then we're like trying to talk about other things, but it's so, and I've been married once and he's been married twice. So it's like, whoo, it's quite a mix bringing all that together,
Mm-hmm.
But Maria,
delicate.
Maria, right now, a lot of people, maybe in 10 people, 8 people is having a lot of issues with their partners. There are a lot of divorces. There are a lot of separations. There are a lot of breakup. And we said, it's because the pandemic. But sometimes we need to think that maybe this is the time that everybody is like separating, divorcing because they're not matching. And so people are getting aware of what exactly they want.
Oh, yes.
And then they was maybe sleeping for a long time with the relationship, and now it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is not what I want.
Yeah, you can't when you're confined like that, or you're forced apart.
Oh,
like you guys were. You have to take a look at what's going on, which actually brings me to my next question, because we talked about before how you were able to stay. Like, I thought it was really amazing that you were able to keep your head. You said keep your head and your heart intact and surviving this pandemic. And so many of us, I mean, I know the end of the quarter last year, I think from October to about December, I got sick. I didn't have COVID, but I got like the flu, like the regular flu, but everybody was like worried that I had COVID. So I had to like super quarantine myself, but it was just like a regular flu. And then I was just feeling really over the pandemic. So I had like a moment where I was like, oh my God, if this pandemic doesn't end soon, I am going to lose my shit. Okay. But then I recovered. Just because the holidays came and it like lifted my spirits up, but which is opposite for a lot of people. The holidays make them more depressed, but they always seem to lift my spirits up. So just in time, the holidays came. What was Sendai saying, Gloria?
Okay, he said, what brought you together should always stick. Things may not work out, but I believe that adults should agree to disagree sometimes. Especially when you have kids. I don't believe in being mean. Kids pick up from that. They see, of course.
So true.
Yes.
That is so true. If I had a nickel for all of the qualities that my son possesses from his father and myself, he tells me all the time he got his smart mouth from me. All the time. All the time.
So he didn't pick up the shit sandwich from you?
I'm trying to get him to learn it because I feel like it could be useful for him. He's 15.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's 15. I love it when the people watching our tribe, our family that views every week start talking to each other I
Yeah.
love that.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
I
pretty
that.
love that.
awesome.
Try, Paula.
And that's the thing, like, I think that's what got me through in terms of like, is that, for example, there's a Zoom call that I do with my family every Thursday, and we've kept it up throughout the pandemic. Like, I stay connected, even though, like, keeping the heart and the mind intact, is that I stayed connected to my people. Like, I made it, and I didn't get all about in my feelings, like, nobody's calling me, poor me. No, I was just calling people. I was checking on them, seeing how they're doing. And that's what helped me get out of myself, And don't get me wrong, I haven't, but I didn't sit in it. I just don't, I think that's kind of like my personality type as well too. And I'm not saying anything against anyone who has depression issues or anything like that, but I just do what I need to do to pull myself out of it, because I know that I can domino and I can spiral downward. And for me, that is, because I have addiction and alcoholism issues, and I've been in recovery for almost 4 years now, with a drink or a drug. So for me to sit in that will take me back to that, and I'll relapse emotionally before I'll relapse physically. And so it's really important for me to do that.
Wow, that's super, super important, because I think, and I really feel, and what I've seen is that it comes back to being self-aware. Because if you are sort of on autopilot and you're coasting through life and you're not aware of what your triggers are, and you're not aware of how to manage these situations, because I'm a disabled vet. You can't see my illnesses, but they're there. And when they are elevated, when they're active, I have to know myself well enough to feel when they're coming on. I have to know myself well enough to know what to do to take action, so that I don't lose time, so that I can still manage my life, still parent my kids, still, because I could be really sick. I could really be bedridden. I could be in bed all the time. I could have someone caring for me at certain points.
It's always rough.
That. Yeah.
When you have a disease that no one can see.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Because they don't understand it. Believe me,
right.
I did that. I was diagnosed in my 20s. I've been living that life, and no one knew anything about these things that I have. Like, they were so new back then that no one really knew what to tell me, how to take care of myself. I had to figure it out. But I couldn't have done that if I wasn't aware, if I didn't. So what I'm saying is, you're so aware that if you allow yourself to get depressed, then you know that it could lead you back into that addictive lifestyle, that you could relapse. And so what I think is so amazing is that you know that, and that you take action to counter yourself from going that far. It's really beautiful and strong.
And you know what? It's amazing, because I'm glad I had the experience of living through a pandemic, because one of the, just like depression, addiction wants you to isolate. It wants you to pull away from everyone. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. Even though I'm physically not, I would go to work and I would come home and I'd be by myself. I kept in touch with my people, and I made sure that I did that. And I think I know that's what kept me going, is that I availed, technology. We can get online. We can call people. We can call people. We can, reach out. We could do Zoom, thank God for Zoom. I knew all about Zoom because of London Real and our experience. Like, what?
Yeah.
Man, that's so powerful.
It is. And I mean, another thing about that is people and initially they dismiss this technology, and it has really been a lifesaver for so many people. And the thing about it is and I did see people close up. I did see people say, oh, I need to just focus on the people who are immediately around me. And I thought, oh, I'm so sad for you, because look at this. Like, Gloria and I have met in person, right? But before we did, when we were all in the course together, okay, none of us had met. And you and I have not met in person, Maria, right now. But I can honestly sit here and say, I love you both. And that's due to technology, because we got to spend months together connecting every single week regularly. And that special experience of being at London Real and using Zoom and doing all that brought us to become family, right? And that's really special.
It is. And it's almost like it prepared me for the pandemic. because it opened me up online, because I didn't know any of the people that was in the class with me. And I was sharing some really like, and like everybody's stories, and Gloria, whew, she's the one that she's like the pioneer. And she really was that pioneer, like where she just let it all out. Like before she even knew any of us, like from the very beginning, just poured out her heart and her soul. And then it gave me permission to be able to speak my truth. And it's just like, and then from there, the experience has been beautiful. So there was like a connection of like, it gave me my voice. And so like, when you go through something like that with people, and it was healing for me, it really was healing for me. And I'm so grateful. That's why I
beautiful.
all the time. I had money. Let me tell you how broke I was. Talk about bootstrapping. I was like, so my son, I put him through college, single parent, whatever. And I said, listen, I want to do this course. I really think it would be a good thing. He's like, are you sure, Mom? I'm like, yeah. I was like, can I borrow the $600, put down on it? And he's like, sure. So it's like, you never know, like being a great parent, your kids might take care of you one day. So who knows? And he definitely did. And it's just, and he's like my biggest, and he's so cute because he's like my biggest cheerleader. So he's just like always there for me. It's a special thing. Yeah. And I just like, and I love that with my kids too. When my ex-husband and I broke up, I made it a point not to badmouth their father, and he didn't badmouth. And I'm still close with like his family and our family. And I didn't know about conscious uncoupling back then, but I guess that's kind of like what we did, and it worked out for our kid. Like I'm blessed. I have really, really great kids. I'm so grateful.
I love all the comments that just rolled through there. Will you put them up again? Because I want to acknowledge each of them. Tendai said, thanks for sharing, Maria. It takes a lot of courage to do this. It really does, especially with us. The power of positivity and having people to talk to that honestly care about you helps a lot. Just sharing a laugh with you guys and also talk about real issues is awesome. Thank you, Tendai. We love when you turn up.
Thank you,
always make our lives.
Rhonda
says, oh my goodness, my social life exploded during this shutdown. So many friends throughout the world. Girl, it's a global thing.
Yes, it is.
And Hot Topics is a global show. And we are blessed to reach out to people all over the world that connect with this show. We love that. And George, I met my wife online 20 years ago. Wow. She was in Massachusetts. I was in Argentina. We met 1 year later in prison.
Wow.
I could cry real tears.
I still hold on to like, I'm going to meet you guys
real
tears.
Oh yeah, girl. Oh
yes,
yeah. I mean, we would have met already if it wasn't for the pandemic. I was supposed to be traveling all last year.
Yes, that's right. Angeline, thank you.
Angeline is amazing. Actually, she is reading the book with us, and she will be with us on Tuesday on our at Hot Topics the podcast page on Instagram, and we're gonna go on IG Live and do if you watch it later, it'll be under our IG TV. But so you can watch it anytime. But if you want to come and chat with us, then we're live on Tuesdays, and Angeline will be with us too. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I'm telling you, this pandemic, I know I said this before, but Brian Rose said at the beginning of the pandemic in one of the keynote speeches at the Academy, he said, I know that there's, this virus and this pandemic, but like, what are you going to do? I'm paraphrasing. He said, what are you going to do? He says, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to come out of this pandemic better than I went in it. So you're going to let this be an excuse? You're going to let this be resistance? You're going to let this hold you back? Or are you going to grow? Are you going to evolve? Are you going to improve? Yeah. And I thought to myself, I was staff. And I was just like, I'm going to improve. I'm doing it too. He's going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm doing it. I'm still doing it. Right.
Yeah.
So, and he's definitely doing it.
Yeah, we was the last group to graduate in London.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The last graduation live. Every other graduation after that has been held because of the pandemic, and we don't know when they're going to be. I suspect this summer, but I don't know how it's going to be because ours was so small and so intimate. And so there's so many students, there's hundreds of students graduating. It's going to be like a college commencement. I don't know how he's going to pull it off. It's going to be, or he's going to have to break it up and do it in smaller groups, but we don't know. All we hear about right now is the mayoral election that's coming up in less than a month. And so that's what we're all focused on. And of course, our upcoming classes at the academy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Wow. So Maria, I want to ask you, everybody knows that you are in New York right now. How is the mood, the energy right now? Are things are starting to open, I think?
Yes. Yeah. Things are starting to open up. Everybody's like, well, it's spring. The weather's been beautiful. So, kids are back in school. Like, like you would drive to, in the States, you drive to work, you're like, oh my goodness, I got stuck behind a school bus. It's more like everybody's like, oh, the school buses, the people, the kids, like it's a different feel. It's a different mood, And so, I mean, we have, there's a lot of masks still up here. I travel down south and, not everyone wears the mask all the time, but up here, they're much still wearing the mask, but everybody's just like hopeful. And a lot of people, I think it's opened up now where everybody can get the vaccine if they wanted to. So there's a lot of hope in the air. Yeah, definitely.
So how are you feeling about taking the vaccine? Have you taken it or are you still waiting?
Okay, so about that. So I work for a doctor's office. So the first vaccine came out, or the first person got it December 14th. And literally it was before the new year, the doctor that I work for is like, hey, by the way, we can get our vaccine. So I didn't really have much time to like decide yes or no, and I said yes, but 3 other women that work in our office said no. So it was an interesting experience. I got my first shot January 9th, and then my second one February. So I was in that first wave of people that got the vaccine. And then I was pissed after I got it because then, I thought that getting the vaccine would help other people. And then I found out the whole immunity thing and all this other stuff, and they weren't really sure and all that. And I was just like, you know what? They shot us up with so much stuff in the military. You remember being in the gym where they just give you shots of whatever and you're just going through?
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay. All right. Because I was just like, all right.
I'm glad you brought that up because those of us who served know we got vaccinated a lot. We got a lot of shots. Now I don't fancy myself the hugest conspiracy theorist, but I will say that I did acquire these illnesses that I have in the military, and I don't know how. Now, I also know that the government can sometimes, how should I put this nicely? Sometimes they have to test things out. And sometimes they test things out on those people who are property.
Oh yeah. You're the property. Yes, girl. I know. I was in.
I'm trying to just say this cautiously.
No,
I don't want to
girl, when I went in, they told me I couldn't.
It's just a suspicion.
No, girl, but let me tell you, when I went in the military, they're like, you cannot do something to your hair unless we let you.
Yeah, well, you're property. We know that.
You are the property of the United States.
Yeah, you're property of the government. So, and I do like on the Female Veterans podcast, as you know, is my podcast, and I'm still going strong with that. I do interviews all the time, and one of my guests, I've actually interviewed 2 people who have pretty interesting stories with this regard, right? So one of them, she's actually an actress in Hollywood. Her name is Jennifer Marshall, and she's on the show Mysteries Decoded. And or she was, I don't know if it's still going, but she's always in stuff. She was in Stranger Things. Anyway, so she was in the Navy as well, and she was required to take the anthrax vaccine back when that was a big deal, and she got sick. And so while I say that, I will say this by saying that I understand the need for the vaccine, for a vaccine to create immunity, right? And to eliminate a disease like this, like smallpox, right? I understand that. And I totally get the importance of that. But I also understand how people can feel afraid and nervous and skeptical about taking the vaccine as well. So
Oh, absolutely.
I have a lot of compassion for those people. Now, that being said, and I also definitely believe in everybody's right, unless you're property of the United States government, to have a
Yeah.
choice.
Right.
However, sometimes you have to choose. Once you have the knowledge that you feel comfortable with the truth as you believe it, because it seems the truth is subjective these days, right? So you have
Yes.
to just do the
Right.
best you can, because you're being inundated with information from these sources and from these sources over here. This people telling
Right.
you don't
Right.
take the vaccine, it's going to do this to you. These people telling you
Right.
have to take the vaccine because it's the only way we're going to get back to normal, and have a chance. And if you look at history and you look at, what happened in 1918, it took a really long time to get that pandemic under control, like a year and a half, maybe 2 years before things were back to normal. Right.
Right.
And so all of that being said, I'm going to take the vaccine.
You're going to?
I am going to take the vaccine.
I was not expecting that.
I am
I
going
wasn't
to take it.
expecting either that.
I'm just coming out. It's my coming out party. Okay. I am going to take it. I have
Wow.
decided
When you
that I
gonna
am
take
going to
it?
take it.
When?
When they allow me to take it in my state, I am not yet allowed to take it. And I will
Really?
tell you why. Because on the case that it could be, if there's a chance that it could help create immunity and we can stop this, then I want to support that. I want to do that. Second of all, I also want to travel and and it's not about having the permission to travel, because I think that would be really bogus if they're like, you can't travel. I would feel some type of way about that, but what am I going to do about it? Right. If the powers that be all get together and say, no one can travel if they don't have that vaccine, and I want to travel, I am not I'm at a place in my life where I'm willing to forgo traveling. I am
Right.
not. But
Yeah.
it's not but that being said, it's more about other people and
Mhm.
going to different places and making sure that I'm protected from them and I am protecting them from me, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And what
So
is the
Yeah.
vaccine that you're gonna take? Because there's three kind, right?
well, I've been you know me, I like science and I love studies. I'm a graduate student, so I'm the girl that reads studies and scientific studies and empirical studies and all of those qualitative studies. I'll read them all. I like them. But I also like to conduct a little experiments of my own and do research of my own. And I think everyone should do research until they get comfortable with it. And I have been talking to everyone who's told me that they have had a vaccine. And I've probably spoken to about 100 people now that have had the vaccine. Most of them have had the Pfizer vaccine. A few of them have had Moderna. If I had a choice, I would choose the Moderna vaccine. If I have to take the Pfizer vaccine, I will, because it seems to be the only thing is the second day, the second shot, you feel a little funky and run down, and weeks later, you're everything's fine. In fact, I was so worried about my best friend after she took the vaccine. I told her, get her tarot cards out and give me a reading. I want to know if it affected your psychic ability. And that's how serious I was in my research about how this was going to affect you. So that I made my choice. What about you, Gloria? You still trying to decide? You don't know?
No, I just want to see more.
Mm-hmm.
When Fauci said that to help with this, it has to be 95% everybody being vaccine. I will be maybe the 5% waiting for that.
You'll be in a, what do you say, a 95% needs to have it, so you'll be in between 90 and 95.
Yes. And because
Now,
I'm going to the jungle, I will be there until I see maybe 90% of the world with the
yeah,
vaccine.
you
Then I come out from the jungle and I will say, okay, let's do it.
there you go. Or you could decide not to and just stay in the jungle. But I don't have that
Yes.
luxury. I'm going to be in the city. I need to be safe. I'm going to have to take one for the team, I guess. But I don't know when I'm going to do it. So I am still sort of asking people, interviewing people about how they feel and what their experience was and what vaccine they took. Those are my questions. And then, but I'm starting to feel more and more confident about it. I watched a great talk with Dr. Larry Brilliant, and he is one of the doctors who helped eradicate smallpox. And so listening to him actually gave me a lot of confidence too, and a better understanding of everything. So, I mean, because he doesn't work for the government, right? Like, I just want to have, I want to get my questions answered from lots of sources, not just one, right? I want to do research in a lot of different places before I do something with my body. And like you said, in the military, we got a lot of vaccines. We got a lot of things put into our body. We don't even know what half of that stuff was technically.
Oh, yeah.
They told us one thing, it could have been anything. Like, so,
Oh, yeah.
It is it is completely understandable, I think, to be
Let me
leery,
ask you a question.
especially military. Yeah.
Are any of your kids interested in going into the military?
No. I didn't raise my kids to be interested in that.
Me neither.
But if they were, but if they were going to go to the military, they would be officers.
Mm-hmm.
If they had come, if my son, and to this day, if my son came to me and said, you know what, I'm going to go to the military, then I would say, you're going to go ROTC then.
Yeah.
And that would be the
I'm just curious. It's curious. I when my kids were coming up, I was just like, okay, your aunt and me serve, so you're good with that. But if you're really,
how has it been that you haven't been on the Female Veterans podcast yet? That's crazy.
I know, and you got to get my sister
for sure.
I
love that. I'm about to start interviewing again in May. I'm taking a little break.
Tanya, she really.
Oh, did you freeze?
Am I still there?
Are you back?
Yeah,
we have 1 hour and 6 minutes. 1 hour, 1 hour and 6 minutes. So we know that we go to 1 hour and 11. So if we want to go a little bit more, we go. But I'm just gonna let you know.
Okay, so then I have one last question for you, and then we're gonna wrap up the show. Okay. So I know that you stayed really positive. And you said that part of the reason was you kept in communication with people, but going to work every day in the pandemic, did that play a role in how you stayed positive? Or do you think that sort of was what you had to work to stay positive from?
Powerful question. In the very beginning, I have to say, I was kind of freaked out because there was a lot of selfishness in our society. And so I saw a lot of that. And then there was a lot of things going on in our country that was happening at the same time. So there was a lot of negativity. And so it was rough. I have to say it was rough at first. And then I had to make a decision and decide, like, okay, you know what? We're all people at the end of the day. People are scared. Like, I had to dig deep. And so I think it was that digging deep and seeing that everybody is a human being and they're dealing with it the best way they can, and to not take it personal. So it just, I think when I earlier said that, like, I got to know and understand people on a different level. Seeing how people react in a pandemic is really, and it was like a cross section of people, some that believed in it. Some people didn't want to wear masks, just having to respect and still do my job, and then I was blessed. I ended up being okay. So, it's just, I think it was just a mindset type of thing of where I just said, you know what, I'm not going to let this take me down.
Wow. So do you have any advice for all of us on how to make it through the final stretch of this pandemic as we start to see the changes and things slowly get back into what our new normal is going to be?
I know. Oh my goodness. This too shall pass. It always feels worse right before it gets better, right? Like, it's just like, I can't take this anymore. This is, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. The signs are there, and we're going to make it through, and we're going to make it through it together. We're going to be, and just love the people you love. And, they're going to get on your nerves, but that's okay. It's all right. It's like, that's what it's about. We love each other. We got on each other's nerves. It's part of life, and we're here. we're making, like, do you realize, like, this is what I said to my coworkers as I was, yeah, because I'm getting ready to leave, I'm moving. I'm like, do you realize that we're living through a pandemic? We're surviving a pandemic together.
Yes, yes.
That means
Crazy.
something.
It
That
does.
means something. So
And
whatever, yeah, go ahead, Gloria.
in 100 years, they're gonna talk about, oh, that ladies and hot topics they went through pandemic.
The whole thing, you can watch us go through the whole pandemic on this show. It's like a historical
Right?
record.
Oh my
From the
gosh.
beginning, we were freaking out, and like all the changes we went through as we evolved through the news and like everything, we
That's
did it on.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome. I didn't even think about that. Like, I was so busy, like, doing the work side of it, but like I kind of bunkered down on my social media side of things where, like, I was just like, you know what? I got to go to work. I got to, I have to face this every day. And then it was just so awesome. Wow. That is so cool. That, God bless you guys. Wow. That's so amazing.
we bumped the show for 1 day more.
Yeah, we started doing 2 days a week because of the pandemic. Because we're like, people are at home bored. Maybe it's something to do. Let's
Yes.
just give them an option of
Absolutely
something else to
brilliant.
watch. Yeah.
And you know what? And that's it. Like, something else, something so positive, right? Because there's so much negativity out there.
For
Oh my
sure.
gosh. That's awesome. You guys stepped it up. Kudos to you. I love you guys.
And you for going to work in the trenches, being
Yeah.
essential, working, serving people in restaurants and being on the front line during the entire pandemic in both a doctor's office and in a restaurant. I mean, come on. That's like a hero. That's like hero status right now.
Yes.
Like, it just by virtue of surviving this pandemic, you worked in it, dealing with sick people and people who maybe didn't want to wear their mask, who did, who were, dealing with everyone has like a trauma. We're all trauma bonded from this pandemic.
For real.
We need to start learning how we hug, how we,
It's skittish to hug people. Not me. I am just the worst. I mean, people are gonna be terrified to see me coming because I will hug the shit out of anybody. I don't care. I mean, I've been dying to hug people. Like, try to stop me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I've traveled during the pandemic too. I saw my husband. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was different places as it was happening. And yeah, it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it through.
Almost there. Oh my gosh, my love. It has been so amazing to see you and get a chance to chat with you and connect with you. Yes. It just never feels long enough, but we've got to wrap it up. I want to thank you so much for being our guest today and being so open and candid and just sharing love with us and holding space for us. So we love you so much and thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Maria.
Oh, thank you guys.
I love you so much. Thank you.
Love you guys. Yes, I will be. Yeah, I'm going to like tune in more because I'm going to have more time once now that I'm not essential anymore. So yeah.
And I want to say something to you, Maria. When we were doing the course together, I love your quotes when you come out and tell stuff. You have you have a very cool voice, and when you talk and when you was talking, giving these positive messages, it was very powerful. So you should think about that and do it more.
Thank you. I will. Thank you so much. So grateful.
And let us know if we can support you in any way with everything you're doing. I know you're bringing your podcast back out soon. You've got a book coming up. So let us know and we'll bring you back and we'll talk about it when you're ready to launch.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
We love you so much.
Love you.
Ciao.
Her nails look so pretty. I have to do my nails. I'm giving them a break again.
Yeah, they're pretty.
I miss my nails. But, I have to give them some air. Let them breathe so that they stay healthy. Oh, great show as always. And no shit, just Kia. Stay safe and take care, everybody. We love you, Tendai. You're the best. You're the best. And that's another one on the books. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We love you guys. We hope that you got something from this. And thank you so much for sharing an hour of your life with us. We appreciate you. Thanks, Angeline. You're such a queen. And well, if you like the show and you want to see more of it, make sure you set your notifications on both Facebook and YouTube. We are on YouTube now. We're going to be growing that channel. So also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out the Eris channel. It's ARRAS on YouTube. Subscribe. Usually the demographic's women. So if you're a woman watching this, go check that out. You will likely find something amazing, full of incredible, powerful stories there. You're going to love it. And watch the replay. Good night, George.
Good night,
Thanks for
George.
tuning in. I want to talk more about how you met your wife online and then met a year later. It feels like love letters. Those are my favorite.
He already vaccinated. I think he got the second shot like yesterday.
Oh, wow. Well, let us know how you're feeling, especially me. I am curious.
He said his arm hurts pretty much.
Well, that's normal for a lot of vaccines, especially when they go into the muscle. So yeah, definitely watch the replay. Let us know that you're watching the replay. Put #replay, right, Gloria? And follow us on Facebook, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. And of course, go to our Instagram, follow us. It's at Hot Topics, the podcast. Follow us there. We're growing that finally. And so there's more and more content being delivered, and our new IGTV. So, yay. Oh, good. I'm glad, honey. I'm glad to hear that. And if you want to watch Gloria's incredible story, she was diving today, you guys.
Yes.
Diving. And it was on her stories. So she seems a little tired today.
Yes.
And it seemed like I was talking a lot. It's because she is tired. She was diving today, like underwater in a suit. Okay. So really incredible. And it was documented in her stories. So if you want to see those, go to at Gloria Gold 1111 and go follow her there so you can see her stories. And if you want to hear tips, tricks, and strategies and read microblogs about self-love, healing journeys, and success tips, because I am a success coach, you can follow me at Kiativity. And that's KIA and Tivity, like positivity, clearly. Creativity. And well, you can follow me on Instagram too. And you can see my modeling pictures because guess what? I have 3 photo shoots coming up over the next 2 months. 3 of them. So that's going to be fun.
Adriel, the guy who say hi, Gloria, I think he's a photographer. I'm not sure, but I think he's a photographer.
Maybe you should get a photo shoot done before you go to the jungle. Maybe. Yeah, for sure. So anyways, I'm Kia Baker, the host of the Female Veterans Podcast and success coach at London Real Academy, and the still upcoming show, Women Warrior Stories, that is leaving the Veterans Channel and moving to the Eris streaming network. And I am joined by this adventurous, lovely, beautiful, glamorous queen,
Gloria Goldberg. Who else?
The number one.
Number one. Always number one. Pioneer in everything. This is Gloria Goldberg, the founder of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD in a holistic way and natural way to always make you feel better. And also the creator and host of the bilingual show, The Gloria, that also talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD. One Friday is in Spanish and one Friday is in English, and 2 more is going to be in English, and we're going to talk about depression with Wild Flora. You know who is Wild Flora, right?
Oh, that's my boo. Oh my God. If Emma cancels my vocal lessons tomorrow, because I sing on Friday mornings for like 4 straight hours, you guys.
We're going to do at 4 p.m. because she cannot do it at
in the morning?
2 p.m. No,
oh
we're
my
going to
God.
do at 4 p.m. 4 p.m.
Eastern time? I think I might be able to. I finish with Emma usually at 1:30 or 2 my time, which is like 4:30 your time. So I will try to make it before I have another event tomorrow night. So I can try to make it between. I love her. She was a guest on Hot
Yes.
Topics.
Yes.
And her name was Tara Ann, and she talked about all sorts of yummy, delicious, wonderful things. You can see that on our Hot
Yes.
Topics Live Facebook page.
Yes.
Just scroll
Yes.
back and you'll find that episode.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. See you next week. And remember, share, like, and love. Bye bye.